So you break a leg hiking Machu Picchu, you get serious food poisoning in Malaria, or you get all your photographic equipment stolen in Madrid. What should you do? Should you have gotten traveler medical insurance? Should you have kept your regular medical insurance? What is trip insurance? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the difference between regular health insurance, traveler medical insurance, and trip insurance so you can make a better decision when planning your next destination, especially if you're considering traveling for a long period of time. Hey there, thanks for being here. My name is Maggie Gomez with The Nomadelle, and I create content for those of you who want to travel more, maybe take a gap year. If that interests you, please consider liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell notification so you don't miss out on information that will help you achieve your travel dreams. And with that, let's dive right in. So first things first, so many different terms, most of them interchangeable. They're traveler's insurance, trip insurance, travel medical insurance, trip health insurance. What's the difference? They're all the same. Trip insurance or traveler insurance pretty much covers all your material possessions and also flight cancellations, whereas anything that has the term health or medical in it is the exact same thing. However, it has a medical or health provision to it that covers diseases or trip to the local hospitals wherever you are. So one of the most common questions is, does traveler medical insurance replaces health insurance? And the answer is no. One does not replace the other. In fact, one is a complement of the other. And they both cover different angles. However, at some point, some of those angles will overlap. And that is going to be your job to identify what your regular health insurance covers, what it doesn't cover while you're traveling, and then get enough coverage through your traveler health insurance to fill the gaps that your regular health insurance doesn't cover. Okay, so we're gonna go through all the parameters, but it's definitely very important to understand that there are certain provisions, certain riders that you have to be aware. For example, evacuation that could be under the regular health insurance, or it could be under traveler medical insurance. So that is why it's very important to understand what you're covered under one and not covered under the other one. So for example, let's just say you are traveling in Asia, all of a sudden you feel very ill, and then you go to the local hospital where they treat you temporarily, but realize that there is a emergency surgery that they have to perform, and for that you need to be evacuated back home, back to the United States, for example. And so let's dissect each and one of them to see which health insurance covers what. So from the moment that you fell ill in Asia and you were taken to the local hospital, that should be covered by your traveler health insurance. Now, the evacuation itself, okay, normally that is covered by your traveler health insurance should you buy the provision for it. So be aware of that. And then once you arrived back home, let's just say the United States, that is where your health insurance, your regular health insurance kicks in. So you are taken to the hospital for that emergency surgery, and that of course it's covered by your regular health insurance. So that is the relation between one and the other. Now, one aspect that is most definitely very important for you to discuss with your regular health insurance and also with your traveler health insurance is vaccinations. So make sure that you check this video right here where I talk all about vaccinations. And the reason I bring that up is because some traveler health insurances are not going to cover your trip to a local hospital, wherever you are in Asia or whatever, if you fall ill with a disease that could have been prevented should you have gotten a vaccine for it. So be aware of that, and always, talk to your health insurance, regular and the travel health insurance to understand what one covers or it does not cover. So what is trip insurance or traveler insurance? That is a type of coverage that doesn't have the medical or the health provision in it. It covers all your material possessions. For example, you are a digital nomad traveling abroad for an extended period of time. You are a photographer, and all your photographic equipment gets stolen or you lose your laptop, etc. So trip insurance covers all that, along with flight cancellations, whether it's the airline's fault or weather related or something came up on your end that prevented you from being able to take that flight. One exception is a force majeure or act of God. It's not to be religious, actually, that is the legal term for things that are unforeseeable in nature, and it doesn't allow for one party to fulfill the contract. For example, in this case, for COVID-19, since it was considered a pandemic, pandemic is an act of God in the sense that is force majeure, and therefore is not covered in a situation of a flight cancellation that your trip insurance is able to cover. So be mindful of that. So how much coverage do you actually need under a traveler health insurance policy? That is going to be such a personal decision because it's going to be dependent upon so many factors that only you have the answer to. So you have to determine what is important to you. For example, what is your budget? Where are you planning on traveling to? For how long are you planning on staying? Do you have expensive equipment that you have to make sure that you cover? Maybe, you're carrying your laptop with you, or you have very expensive photographic equipment, or maybe you have an underlying health situation that you have to make sure that you are covered for that as well. So probably the best way is going to be for us to look at a sample of a policy so you can at least see all the parameters that are available for you to pick and choose. So for that, I'm going to 7corners.com. 7corners is just one of the very many travel health insurance companies available. There's also Allianz, there is also World Nomads. I'm not affiliated with any of them. If you do a lookup, you'll find very many companies that you can do research. So I'm going to leave a link on the description below, and 7corners.com, I've used them in the past. And the first question is where I live. So my answer is going to be I live in the US and I am traveling internationally. So I'm going to click on that. And then I have other options as far as what type of coverage I need. Options are trip protection or medical plan. I'm going to choose frequent traveler because I'm looking to get coverage for my year of backpacking that I'm going to do. And I'm going to go ahead and click on get a quote. And then I have to enter an effective date. My originally effective date was May 1st, so let's just keep that. Does the trip include USA? No, it does not. I'm going to put my age here. You don't need to see that. And I'm going to go ahead and click get a quote. And here is where it tells me the cost, which is $200. But it's for up to 30 days of travel. So not what I'm looking for. Even if I click 45 days, it brings it up to $240. Again, not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a year, and that's okay. I'm going to give them a call and find out. But the main takeaway here is the benefits that are included. So what you want to look for is for the medical maximum. In this case, $1 million is the medical maximum for this one policy, which is good. It's fine. There is a deductible of $250, and that's very standard. It's fine. So that means that if you incur in a medical emergency and you have to pay $250 first, and then the medical maximum kicks in. Then you have other benefits, other riders, dental accident coverage. Let's look for here it is. So emergency medical evacuation and repatriation. So that one is very important for you to have. Again, that is a very personal decision, but I always get it because you never know what could possibly happen. So $1 million is the maximum on medical evaluation, and that is should be in addition to the medical maximum, which in this case it is. So that is basically how you compare between one health insurance agency and another. And I do see something that I'm not sure what to think about this, but I don't see anywhere coverage for my belongings. And so that is a concern to me because I'm always carrying my expensive photographic equipment and my laptop and things like that. So I need to make sure that that is covered. So that is a very good example of something that, it's important to me and it's not covered. So I'm going to give them a call and find out. First of all, I'm looking for an annual policy, and this one only gives me the option for up to 45 days. And also I'm going to ask them about my belongings. Where is the rider, or where is the benefit that covers my belongings? I do see the rider for the checked luggage. So if the airline loses my luggage, it will be $500 per occurrence that will be given to me, and that's fine. But again, I do need to have the rest of my belongings covered as well. So bottom line, those are just example of few of the parameters, the benefits or riders or whatever you want to call them, things that you want to make sure that you compare between one insurance company and the other, and you have to pick and choose, what is important to you. And the bottom line is that you have to make sure that between your regular health insurance and your traveler health insurance, you're not over covered, meaning you're not paying extra for items that are already covered by, your regular health insurance. And at the same time, you have to make sure that you're not under covered, meaning that there are no gaps in between your policies. So that is the name of the game, and that is the way that you compare between insurance companies. So like I mentioned, there are many companies that offer traveler health insurance coverage. If you do a lookup and search with the terms travel insurance or trip health insurance, you're gonna get a list of companies that would offer that service. So make sure that you shop around, and the first thing that I would definitely recommend doing is contacting your regular health insurance first, so you can understand what you currently have, what's covered and what is not covered in terms of travel. Okay. Once you determine that, then you want to identify what is important for you to cover. Maybe you have a very expensive equipment that you want to make sure that it's covered, or maybe you have an underlying medical condition that you want to make sure that is covered as well, or maybe you want to make sure that the evacuation rider, that the evacuation benefit is part of that coverage as well, whether it is by your regular health insurance or whether that is by the traveler health insurance. You definitely want that rider as part of your coverage, right? So once you've determined that, then you are able to start calling the travel insurance companies and start comparing them all and see, which one offers the best deal, the more comprehensive deal for your needs. The idea is that you don't overpay, so you're not over covered, right? But at the same time, you have to make sure that you're not under cover, so there are no gaps in the coverage for your belongings, for your flight cancellations, for your health emergencies or whatnot. So that is how you do the comparison. That's how you have to do your research. And just to recap, trip insurance is mostly a term used to address protection of your belongings and also flight cancellations. On the other hand, trip or traveler health insurance or medical insurance, it's basically the same thing, but it has the medical or the health aspect of it included in those benefits. So that is all there is to it. And here's my question for you. Have you ever had to use traveler health insurance or regular traveler insurance? Or have you ever had anything stolen while traveling? So please feel free to comment with any questions that you may have or any travel related stories. I would love to hear them. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm Maggie with The Nomadelle. Until next time, happy travels.